I'd like to all rise and join with us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Phyllis, could we have roll call, please?
Sam Collier.
Here. All set.
Trey Koshaw is absent. Matt Dyer.
Here.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Here.
Wiley Sir.
Here. You were all emailed a copy of our minutes from our October 16th meeting. If you had a chance to review those, I'd look for a motion to approve. So moved. Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from October 16th. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. First item on the agenda, Melissa and Greg Mendez is here to talk about the city assisting with some funding for a fall sculpture series that's going to be over at Riverside Park. Take it away, Melissa.
Okay. Just as a quick refresher, we're in the 7th year of the Decatur Sculpture Tour. I think we all can agree that we're very grateful for the work and success that this committee has done. It shaped our community planning, everything from street safety, economic development, and the benefit has become far beyond just walking by and enjoying art. I think we can all agree on that. We're also starting to make an impact at the state level. A couple weeks ago, Greg and I were selected to present at the Indiana Arts Commission annual conference in Fort Wayne, and we talked about the city's partnership with the Sculpture Tour and what the Sculpture Tour has done for the community. So we're starting to get the word out there to the state about what's going on. Later this week, our 2nd Street Lofts Committee within Greater Decatur will meet with Biggs to finalize that list of amenities that they can start marketing to potential loft tenants, and so that we can invite those tenants and new artists to join our community. So with that in mind, all those things in mind, Greg brought this idea and opportunity that he would like to share with you tonight. And like the mayor mentioned, we're talking about a fall series public art program that would bring 4 new sculptures to Riverside Sculpture Park. And 2 real objectives. One thing is to keep the Decatur Sculpture Tour fresh. We debuted the new sculptures in June, and this will kind of revitalize and keep it in the top of people's mind as the sculptures are still out there and ready for viewing. And the other one goes back to that, the community planning. We need to continue to keep that pipeline to new artists and loft tenants in our artist community. We need to keep that pipeline open to new artists, and we need to keep drawing those people here to start being a part of our community. So, you want to add anything?
The idea for this just kind of happened as I've been pursuing my own career. It used to kind of be common that the public art programs all took place in the spring, and it's starting to, a lot of the cities and communities are seeing the benefits of them, so they're starting to also implement them in the fall time. That way it's a year-round event. I thought it would be a good opportunity for Decatur to start a fall Decatur Sculpture Tour fall series. That way, towards the end of the year, we kind of lose some of our momentum from the springtime with Sculpture Tour, and it was a good opportunity to get something to happen quickly. We leased 3 out of the 4 sculptures on the chamber side of the river. 3 out of those 4 were leased by the Decatur Sculpture Tour, and they're getting ready to come down. So I was just not wanting to have some empty spots where sculptures could be placed. So the idea came about to move the ballerina that's part of the permanent display across the river to be on display with the rest of the permanent pieces. That would free up 4 pads that would cater to a fall series program. So we've gotten a hold of 4 artists that are willing to create some new works and some bring some work. Artist Nathan Pierce, one of our artists that's been with Sculpture from the beginning.
From Missouri.
From Missouri. Craig Snyder bringing a piece from Minnesota. The program will support a local artist, Alex Mendez, to create a new piece and bring up. And then this I thought was very interesting. There's an emerging artist from Chicago that this will be his 3rd public art display that he has made a sculpture for. So I thought it was very, very cool that an emerging artist from Chicago, of all places, one of the kind of the hot spots for art in the country, is bringing a piece to Decatur to help build up his professional art resume.
Cool.
These pieces will go up this Friday. The gallery's going to host the reception and house the artists that are coming from out of town.
The Gallery Ace.
The Gallery Ace. And we'll kind of throughout the day put the new sculptures up. They'll be on display for about 10 months, similar to Sculpture Tour in the springtime. And then next fall, hopefully we'll be able to replace these 4 sculptures with 4 new ones, and with hope expand a little bit so that it'll start to catch momentum just like the springtime did and turn into its own sculpture event.
Yep, and along with the placing of these 4, as you said, ACE 40.8 is having a little, what are you calling it this Friday?
Really a reception.
A reception.
That are bringing the pieces in, and a gallery opening to pair along with it.
And you have several other artists coming in addition to the 4, I think, or a few others anyhow.
Yeah,
they're coming in.
A lot of the artists that are participating in the Sculpture Tour are coming to the event to see the new sculptures and, of course, be able to be around other sculptors.
So this would be one more time throughout the year that artists are coming to Decatur, they're choosing to come here, that there's the opportunity for when there are tenants in the loft for kind of another collaboration session, maybe different artists would come in and teach classes to the community or to those tenants in the loft that would be interested. So keeping the, like I said, keeping this pipeline going, having artists here, having artists share their resources with us, this is one more time that we'll be able to get to do this, and we think that this is a really valuable part of the sculpture tour as well as continuing to develop our art amenities throughout the city.
When's the date?
November 9th.
This Friday.
Yeah, this Friday. New sculptures will be
Okay,
going
so what's the cost of putting this on, and how's it being funded?
The cost is about $2,700, and we've been fortunate to receive a grant from the Adams County Community Foundation for $1,750. So why we're here this evening is to ask if the city would consider helping and making up the difference for this first year of the program.
$950 of it? Yeah. Discussion.
I had a great conversation with Sean and Greg earlier just about, amenities to attract artists to the loft. And in my mind, where I'm going is, access to, things that the community can provide. The park systems and the trail and workspace. What didn't cross my mind at all was the ability to participate in actual public art programs that can grow their resume. And I think that we have one, right? We have an opportunity now. This presents another one. And I think with the idea of a public arts commission to establish that within our community, to be able to say, okay, there are multiple ways, and multiple ways that we can partner with other communities and do public art, or give these tenants public art opportunities. I think it's a great idea. So I'm certainly in favor of the fall series. It makes sense to me.
I would like to add how we divided up to come up with that number. What the sculpture lease that we are paying the sculptors is $450 per sculpture to lease their piece for 1 year, and then
It's cheap.
exactly, and then $300 is travel stipend. So for the artists that are coming from out of state, they get extra $300 on top of their bonus. So it's kind of being familiar with what it takes to create a sculpture. Alex Mendez, the local sculptor, my brother, this is a new piece that he's creating, so this lease provided him with an opportunity to help fund the creation of the new sculpture. The artist from Chicago that is an emerging artist, the same thing, he's early in his career, so this opportunity allowed him to kind of offset the cost of creating a large-scale sculpture as well. And then Craig and Nathan from Missouri and Minnesota, they're both established artists, and the cost just offsets the travel costs for them. Takes about 3 to 4 days out of their schedule of the week to...
Gives them an excuse to come to Decatur.
Right. and then for that price, we get to establish professionals into town. And we're going to try to, if it works out with the teachers, take them over to the high school and see if they could make a guest appearance with some art classes. And I believe we're going to be able to get them interviewed on the local high school radio station while they're in town.
Cool.
So that way that we can start doing a little more than just bringing them into town to drop off the sculpture.
Is this the sculpture tour? I mean, who's actually asking them for the money? Is it the...
It's partnered, we're partnered with the sculpture.
City and the sculpture tour.
Okay.
So the ask is for $950. Where do we have $950?
That's the question.
So is the sculpture tour asking for this money, or who's putting on this fall? I mean, does the sculpture tour have funds that they can put on the fall? Don't get me wrong, I think the sculpture thing's a great deal, but I don't want to be the first person that they come and ask money for if the sculpture tour has funds to support this too, or...
Sculpture Tour does not have a lot of funds. What they get in way of sponsorships, you know, from all the merchants and whatever that sponsor the displays, and then having the weekend festival and paying the stipends to get all the pieces here, and the lease fees, it's not like they're walking around with a lot of extra fat in their kitty.
So who made the grant request to the foundation? Is that the city?
The city did with the sculpture tour as a partner. With the thinking of that being that the Riverside Sculpture Park is something that is under control of the city, and that's where this would go. So it's a true partnership. And this kind of came together in an expedited way, so that we now know that for the next year's fall series that we've got a full year to kind of plan out and strategize on how to raise this money, so that hopefully we can take it out.
So that maybe a year from now, the sculpture committee can put this into their budget.
Right. And this is a sculpture tour each year knows what it costs to put on the festival and bring X amount of sculptures to town. So it's basically starting a second program, but still.
So you would be looking for corporate sponsors in the future?
Yes.
Or fundraising or something additional, so that we wouldn't have to return. You know, that the city's very kind to the sculpture tour already. We don't want to have to come back and do this.
That's my only fear, is that we give donations to all these other committees, that we're going to favor one over the other. I mean, that's where I'm coming from in my... Because they were probably the biggest receiver in funds from the city as far as events go this year.
But you haven't asked anybody yet for corporate sponsorship?
Not like we have with the sculpture tour. Right now, it's hard to go out and find a business that's able to sponsor a sculpture base at $450 per sculpture. That's kind of the odd thing is an average sculpture lease around the country is about $1,000 per sculpture. So we're by us paying $450 per sculpture on average with sculpture tour and other leases that are going on. We're pretty fortunate to have the artists bringing the work to town.
Yeah, and you know, when we do the springtime, we get, I forget what the word is, like applications, or when everyone submits. I mean, not every sculpture that wants to be in our sculpture tour makes it. You know, the sculpture tour juries, is that the word?
Right, it's a jury display.
The selections. And this all came about so quick that it wasn't a matter of, I mean, this is all, with the exception of the new artist from Chicago, and it's only because you know the guy, or you've met him at other venues and have talked to him about ours, that he's willing to come here. Otherwise, you know, I think down the road, if this continues, it would be something where the pieces would probably be juried by the sculpture.
Right, it was something we wanted to try to get put together before winter, so it was a matter of getting a hold of our current roster involved with the sculpture tours, seeing who had some sculptures available to bring, and who would be able to bring those sculptures.
You know what the pieces are like? Are they very big pieces?
They're all fairly large. They're all abstract, and one in particular, the Chicago artist, it will help kind of spur along the conversation of what is art. It's a large pillow, but the technique that was used to put that piece together is quite interesting. If So what he's doing is welding sheet metal together around the perimeter, getting it red hot, and then inflating it. It's very dangerous. So, inflating sheet metal that's been heated up, and it's kind of a matter of, again, looking at it, you see a giant pillow, but once you talk to the artist and figure out the process in which it was made, it's interesting. So I think that this piece alone will definitely help spur along the conversation.
The dialogue.
What is the definition of art? Again, the pieces are all different. I can't say that everyone's going to like every single piece because they're abstract, and it's something that you have to think about when you look at, and it's not a black and white definition of what it is. It really comes down, I guess this one, it can be looked at as almost an invitational as opposed to a jury show. The way that I found the Chicago artist was through Charles Yost. Earlier this summer, he put on a public art program just similar to Decatur, and he selected 10 artists from Chicago, and this was one of his artists selected in his program, which is how I met him, and kept things, the momentum moving.
All right, I think the city definitely is behind this and sponsors it. I mean, and obviously it's going to go on city property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because of that, I'm going to make a recommendation. I'm going to make a motion that we, no, hear me carefully, that we do not sponsor it as a city, but that you find corporate sponsorship. And then come talk to me afterwards.
As he says with a wink and a smile.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion before we go to vote? If not,
I'll second that.
I think Kyle already did.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to deny this as far as being a city sponsor and to seek corporate sponsors. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Denied. Stamp. Hey, while Greg is here, everyone, department heads, media, Friday during the day, if you're in town and out and about at all, check the chamber parking lot area where they'll be installing these pieces, and then that evening, stop down at Ace 40.8 and just stop in for a little visit with the artist and other people.
It's 6 to 9 o'clock is when the festival.
So,
This Friday.
Yep, this Friday. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you very much
Yep.
for your time.
Second thing,
So that doesn't need to be...
the next thing is certificate of appointment. We need to make Carrie Fillings certificate of appointment as wastewater treatment superintendent, a matter of record. She has signed it, I've signed it. Just need to make this a matter of record. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Matt, I think, and a second from Wiley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I have a request from, I guess from me and Phyllis, actually, on this one. It's to provide our employees, and it comes from the council promotional account, Decatur dollars at year end. And I think it's a $30 stipend for the full-time and $20 for part-time employees. The amount that it will cost us to do that is $2,820, and that has come from the council's promotional account in the past. If you're all inclined to continue with this great little gesture, I would look for a motion. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the Decatur dollars, which comes right here from the Chamber of Commerce. The money's got to be spent right here in Decatur. It's a great little thing. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next thing is Cottonwood Estates.
Looking better.
Yeah, it's looking better. We've got a ways to go, and right now we're at a stalemate as far as Mr. Costa's funding. Yeah, but he has a opportunity to sell, and the prospective buyer is a local business person, and the two of them together are seeking a petition to take to the Plan Commission for rezoning of a portion of that facility. If you look at it on the GIS, you'll see it's, I think, broken into, is it 4 or 2? 2 parcels, one to the north, one to the south, and I don't know which one it is, but if they go to the Plan Commission, they'd like to have that rezoned, and if they get it rezoned, then they'll enter into a purchase agreement for this portion of the Cottonwood Estate. Tim?
Yeah, the process is the petition's filed, it's made a matter of record by council and then referred to the Plan Commission. Plan Commission holds a public hearing. At the end of that public hearing, Plan Commission will either make a recommendation to council to rezone it, not rezone it, or Plan Commission can be neutral and make no recommendation. It comes back to council, and then council would take action through the passage of an ordinance. If you're inclined to rezone the property as requested, the ordinance would be adopted in the manner that you normally do. It could be done on all 3 readings if you wish to suspend the rules. So the public hearing will probably be held on November 20th, and
The Plan Commission meeting.
Plan Commission meets before council, so that recommendation will come to you on November 20th, and then you'll have the ordinance, I'll have an ordinance ready to go that you can introduce and pass if you so wish.
So is this for the 13th Street side or the back side? The south
It's-
side, but it goes...
It goes from the highway all the way back.
The south portion.
Yeah.
The other portion's a lot smaller.
What are they wanting to rezone it to?
Yeah, what is it?
Oh, here.
I think it's C1.
Change the zoning from RS, residential suburban, to C3, roadside business.
C3.
So what does that allow in there then? Same thing?
No.
No.
What does it allow in there?
What are the... Right.
Okay, that's my
Commercial
question.
business.
Right.
So,
Primarily retail or that sort of thing.
this is an existing business who's just looking to expand and take on more inventory. It would go to the Plan Commission on the 20th. If they are inclined to recommend to council, then I would suggest that we view it as well on the 20th, because I think it would be, I think both the buyer and the seller would appreciate that, so that they can continue on in their process, have all 3 readings that night.
So this is just about making this matter of record right now.
Make a matter of record and referring it to the
No,
Plan
No,
Commission.
the further cleanup and expenses and all that type of
Nope.
stuff.
No.
So I'll move to make it a matter of record.
Second.
And refer it to Plan
Refer
Commission.
to Plan Commission.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to refer this to the Plan Commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And then the last thing we have would be a couple of event forms. The first one is the Fall Series Riverside Sculpture Park. Ace 40.8 Gallery is asking that we close the alley between the Wood Door Salon and Ace Gallery. It'd be set up periodically throughout the day, but primarily be completely closed from 4 to 10 p.m. roughly. I think we all know where that alley is. It's got some murals in there, and that's really all you're asking for is the closure of the alley, and he's got the signatures of the officials here, so moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the event for Ace 40.8. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And then the second one is Christmas Open House, Santa's Visit, and it is, the organizing sponsor is Decatur Main Street, and this is for a visit with Santa, it looks like. Wiley, can you embellish this?
It's on the plaza, Friday the 16th, from 4 to 6
Mhm.
that evening. A request to...
So this is the use of the plaza, the request for use of the plaza, will they need electricity? No. Do you need a vehicle to assist with pulling, placing item in the plaza? No. No street closures. Restrooms? Is that
We
on?
did mark yes
Where's that at on here?
on the
Restrooms.
front, I believe.
Right here.
Yeah, city restrooms, yes. So,
And we can take care of that.
okay. Well, again, this is one of those quality of life. Is it a quality of life project? Is it a private event that's, how do we want to act on the restroom fee and the plaza fee?
Oh, there'll be no reindeer there, right? No reindeer?
You never know. You never know.
Reindeer don't on the plaza?
That's quality of life, no fee.
Yeah.
Nobody's benefiting from it. It's a quality of life event, I would think.
Yep.
Therefore, I would recommend no fee.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so do you want to make this all a motion?
one.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion from Matt, second from Tyler to okay the
And I'll
Christmas open
remove
house.
myself from the vote.
Okay. And to forego the fees for the restroom in the plaza. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Wiley. And with that, that's everything on the agenda. Lenny? Okay. That's a good thing. Les?
The safety part, Survivor Life, is in full swing. We started Monday with, so if you have a fourth grader, we're probably going to see them go through the Survivor Life house over the next 2 weeks. South Adams, the first couple of days, Adams will finish out the week, and then North Adams and most of the privates will be funneling through over the next 2 weeks. So a lot of activity down there, fourth graders, and it's kind of a big deal for them, and it's about 1,400 kids that will funnel through there over the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Carrie?
We have the second clarifier out of the backyard, it's up and running well. Clarifier number 3 is currently out of service.
Okay. Kurt? Kurt is good. Bill, you're representing the water department tonight. What do you got? Nothing.
We're good. We're preliminary stages of getting the water plants built. We're going to meet with Hopper Fillers next week.
Okay. Done? Jeremy?
Too much to talk about other than what we've seen from the is underway. So
Yes, it is.
They are late.
Came very suddenly.
They are late. You're going to be dealing with snow before long, so maybe this weekend. Sooner than later. Once the snow starts falling, the leaks are going to be impossible to get picked up. They're about 3 weeks late, so that tells you anything.
Okay. Don, or Bill, you got anything else? That was Colorado.
Thanksgiving. Colorado was snowy.
Yeah, we have 2 spin oaks in the backyard, and there's 2 are late anyway.
Melissa, you have anything else?
And maybe February.
Council members, anything? Phyllis? Tim?
Nope.
With that, Wiley, you got something?
He usually makes a motion to pay the claim.
Oh.
Been done 30 minutes.
Would someone like to make a motion to pay the claims?
I'll second it.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Matt did. Cam second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and 2 seconds to adjourn, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you, we are adjourned.